Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And today I'm going to be doing the top 5 Fire Nat 5s specifically for arena offense. Okay, now I've done a lot of, or maybe not a lot of, but I've done a few top 5 videos in the past and they did really well. I got a lot of great feedback from it. The only thing that you guys said was that it's not specific to a certain part of the game, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So this video is about Fire Nat 5s, the next video is about Water, Wind, and that's all going to be arena offense specific. I'm going to do one that's arena defense, Guild War offense, Guild War defense, RTA, TOA hard, Dragon, everything, every aspect of the game that you could possibly think of. I'm going to do a top 5 for that elements, and then I'm also going to be doing a top 5 in general overall. I'm also going to do top 5 Nat 4s. It's going to be a lot of top 5 videos. I hope you guys like it. If you have an idea for a specific video that you want to see a top 5 in, go ahead and drop a comment below and I will absolutely try my best to I'll probably get to it because I'm planning to do a lot of top 5 videos. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. As always, don't mind my kitty. So the number 5, I'm going to start with number 4, but the number 5 Arena Offense Fire Natural 5-star monster goes to Okeanos. Okay, the reason why, this is why. Okay, I'm going to be explaining myself throughout the entire videos. I'm going to take about 2 minutes per monster to explain why this monster is in this list. So Okeanos has a AoE third skill that not only inflicts damage, but also has a chance to stun the enemy. And if it's built on Despair, it almost will full team stun every single time. Now, okay, granted, you might have some bad RNG and it doesn't stun, but it's gonna stun at least 2 out of the 4. So it's a really good way to get some CC and some damage in. It doesn't have to do a lot of damage. Okay, a lot of people think, oh, I need an AoE nuke that can one-shot the entire team. That's not the case. Okeanos does enough damage to get the job done. Pair it with a Galleon and maybe 2 other AoE nukers, or you could do another AoE nuker plus a buff stripper. Okay, so those are the combinations that you would use it with on arena offense. And then you would go with his second skill if you have a specific monster that you want to put a skill on cooldown. Say you have Perna, you have Theomars, something like that that's going to revive. Even Samak now, with him making a huge appearance on arena defenses, Okeanos would be a good counter to that if you want to build it speedy and then outspeed the other team, drop your Okeanos down, remove the buffs, throw up a Galleon, and then AoE nuke with another nuker. So that's really the best way to run the Okeanos on arena offense. He also has decent speed, decent HP, and a nice little first skill that, you can use it. It doesn't really come in handy very often, but if you need to get rid of a couple buffs here and there, it's nice to have. He also has this accuracy leader skill, so if you have problems with your accuracy, like on your Galleon or something like that, you can always throw him in. Or if you don't have any other type of leader skill, might as well, right? Okay, number 4 on the list is Rika. Okay, you guys might be wondering where I'm going with this, but there's going to be a trend to all these arena offense monsters, and you're going to start to see whether when I go through the water, the wind, the light, the dark, there's going to be a trend, and you guys are going to see what monsters are really the best options for arena offense. So for Rika, the reason why she's on here, her base speed is really nice, her attack's really nice, but she also has 2 AoE nukers, 2 AoE nuke skills. So this one attacks the enemy 3 times, and it also has the chance to decrease attack speed and inflict continuous damage for 2 turns, and then this one has a chance to stun. So not only does it have some CC, it also has 2 damage AoE nukes, and it also has some dots and decreasing attack speed. So it has a lot of good things. Again, it's not the biggest damage dealing monster in the game, it's not the most high scaling monster in the game, but it doesn't have to be, as long as it does enough damage. I would say 20,000. Okay, 20,000 damage is enough damage. A lot of people get into the idea thinking that their nuke has to do as much damage as possible. It doesn't. There's no sense in overkilling a monster if the monsters are generally going to have about 30 to 40,000 HP maximum on arena defense. That's all you really need to do, and if you have 2 nukers, you can split it up between the 2, so you really only need to do about 15 to 20,000 damage on that specific team. So that's what you gotta look at. Don't think you have to do as much damage as possible. Think about doing enough damage. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, so number 3 on the list is the Fire Homunculus. So this one you're gonna use a little bit differently because it is based on speed. You're actually gonna wanna build it with Flaming Thunder, which is the skill right here. And the reason why the Fire Homunculus is in here is because of this skill, because it attacks all enemies to inflict damage. The damage increases accordingly to your attack speed. So very similar to how Theomars' first skill works, this is going to be the same thing, but it's for an AoE nuke. Now if you think about it, this is going to help for people that want to, you know, kind of speed cleave the arena defense that they're going up against. So that you might use a speed leader like Sierra, I don't know, Samath, anything that's going to be a speed leader, plus you'll have a Bernard, Orion, something like that, Megan, and then you're going to have a buff stripper, so I don't know, maybe Chiru with Fire Homunculus, and Bernard, and Galleon. And that way you're speeding up yourself, you're removing the buffs, you're putting a Galleon up where you increase your attack bar or attack power and the enemy's defense, and then you AoE nuke with your damage based on your max speed that's been buffed 3 times because of the leader skill, the Bernard buff, and the attack power buff from Galleon. Okay, it's gonna see how that would work, but it also does some really nice damage. It has a little bit of an attack or defense break on his turn 2 or his skill 2, and it also increases your attack bar by 50%. So why? I mean, if you're already fast, why not make yourself faster? Okay, moving on to number 2. I already mentioned him like a couple seconds ago, but this is actually Chiru. And a lot of people, I don't know, I would say they underestimate Chiru, but Chiru is a really amazing monster for a lot of PvP content, okay? So Chiru's main reason why he's in here is because he has this speed leader skill, because he has an AoE buff strip that recovers his own HP. He also has a slight Megan skill, or it is a Megan skill, but it does it for 2 turns instead of 1. And then it has a sleep, so it has a little bit of a, you know, CC factor to it. If you're going to get up against Renas or Theomars, you can actually just pick this one out where you can say, okay, I'm going to bring my Chiru just in case the other team has Will. However, if they don't, I'm just going to use my turn 2 against the Theomars so that way he can't proc his shield, his immunity, or whatever it's called. Invincibility? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, we're moving on. I'm not going to get too mad about not remembering that skill. Okay, so who would you run with this? Kind of, I said earlier a little bit, but I would run like Chiru, Galleon, and then an AoE nuker, and then an attack bar booster. Okay, if you don't want to use the attack bar booster, you don't think that you need to use the attack bar booster because the speed leader skill is enough, then you can go Chiru, Galleon, and then 2 nukes. Whatever nukes you want to use, as long as they're AoE damage dealing nukes, like the ones that we've already been over, those would be a great option. But you can use any element, of course, any element. And then number 1, I mean, it's really no surprise. I'm sure you guys have already known this for quite some time. Super OP, it's Zeros the Fire Dragon. And the reason why he's in here is because he not only does a ton of AoE damage between his 3rd and 2nd skill, but he also puts the skills on cooldown, and then he has a whole bunch of dots that he can just womp on you, and then you can use his leader skill if you want a little bit more extra damage. Really, I mean, I don't really need to explain Zeros, but I would use him with Galleon, of course, or any other type of defense breaker or AoE defense breaker. And then I would use him with another nuke and an attack bar booster. if you're up in like Guardian range, because not a lot of people are using Will anymore because it's so easy to just remove buffs because of Tiana's now and Chirus and all these other things. I personally use Triton, and they don't really counter against it. They just be like, okay, I'm either gonna outspeed them or I'm gonna take turn 2, make sure I have Nemesis on my monsters and reboost myself. Now if you're down in like Conqueror area, Conqueror 3, Conqueror 2, Conqueror 1, you might see a lot more Will runes because they are lagging a little bit behind the meta, but you might see a little bit more Will runes, so putting it with a Triton or, like I said, a buff stripper would be nice instead of the Bernard. So don't outspeed, just let them attack you, have Will on everybody, have shield on one of your monsters, so that way you can take Orion's skills a little bit better, and that is the best way to run Zeros, okay? I use it all the time. If you guys want to see it in action, you can check out any one of my top arena defense videos. He's right there using almost every single one of my offenses except for the ones that I use Lucian in. But alright guys, that's it. That's the top 5 Fire Nat 5s for arena offense. In the next video coming out will be the top 5 Water Nat 5s for arena offense, and you can probably start guessing who's going to be on that one. Again guys, definitely appreciate you tuning in. If you want to see a different type of top 5 video, put your comment in the comment section below. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.